You know, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. You know, throwing an egg is not violence. Throwing an egg is not violence. Evicting children with bailiffs in the darkness of the morning, knocking down their door, steaming into their house, and evicting families with kids so that private property developers can come and knock down their home. That's violence. That's violence. You know, taking away the social care that supports disabled people so that they have no one to take them to the toilet in the night and they've got to sit in their nappies. That's violence. You know, poverty, pushing people into poverty. That's violence. You know, sanctioning people with mental health because they turned up late or they didn't have the right trousers on. That's violence. You know, starting a war in a country and a million dead and refugees fleeing and struggling to get out of war, of death, of destruction. A war that we started. And the refugees dying on the way. This is the propaganda. This is violence. This is propaganda violence. This is the Home Secretary, Theresa May, standing up at the Tory party conference with a newspaper, with kick out the bogus refugees. That's violence. That's violence. Forcing people into Yarl's Wood that have committed no crime, that victims of rape, women of torture, putting private security guards, asking them questions about their abuse. That's violence. You know, up here is a picture of Margaret Thatcher, and it says here that David Cameron is Margaret Thatcher's true heir. There's £1 million council homes on the market right now. He's the heir. No, inside is Zach Goldsmith. Zach Goldsmith, demolish ugly estates to build better homes for people, asking private investors to come in, knock down the council homes, come in and build city villages, gentrification, bring in Foxtons. This is violence. This is going to lead to violence. This is the destruction of communities. Now, David Cameron's doing his speech today at the conference, framed around British values. You know, David Cameron's, it's been, they said he's going to be talking about his home-owning democracy. My question is this: where's the labourers? Where's the street cleaners? Where's the armies of office cleaners and the armies of people that work in shops? Where are they supposed to live? In David Cameron's home-owning democracy, in these cities. He's saying that he's going to put more properties on the market, 200,000 homes to buy. How are these people going to be able to afford? You know, first of all, where are people supposed to live? Where's the labourers in the work? Where are they supposed to live? Downstairs. Is that it? Is it upstairs, downstairs? Are they the servants? Are they the slaves? They're supposed to live in a broom cupboard beside the toilet in the office. Where are they supposed to live? The other question is, what percentage of those are on the minimum wage? Or what percentage of those on George Osborne's new living wage? What percentage could afford to buy one of David Cameron's affordable homes? One of these new 200,000 that are going for 450. Who could afford? What percentage of people could afford them? The answer is zero. You know, this is the framing of British values. This is, you know, the BBC had a thing on today, and it said Afghan conflict. Is it ever legal? Is it ever legal to bomb a hospital? What? Where did they get that from? Where did they ever? What are they even talking about? This is David Cameron. This is Katie Hopkins. Show me the bodies. I still don't care. This is today. He's going to be doing his speech. His push the button speech. I'll push it. You know, it's going to be framed around British values again. He's going to be standing in front of a Union Jack, supported by the Sun, supported by the Tory Graph, Jim Davidson, the National Front. And they're claiming the centre ground. Seriously, they're claiming the centre ground. Where are we at if the centre ground is framed around this, framed around this British values, this idea, their idea of British values? And the extremist is Jeremy Corbyn, who's pro-peace, pro-tolerance, pro-standing together against a war machine, against property developers, against social cleansing, against the destruction of our public services. And he's standing against, and people standing with him against privatisation, standing up for workers' rights, standing up against cuts to social care, standing up against £50,000 worth of student debt. You know, David Cameron's British values are steeped in the Bullingdon Boy Britain. You know, one that targets the poor, targets low-paid workers, targets people of colour, targets people of race. You know, David Cameron's British values are steeped in discrimination. They're steeped in stripping away human rights. You know, prosecuting somebody who steals a packet of sausages or a loaf of bread or baby milk, but not Swiss bank tax evaders. That's their British values. You know, the other day when I was on the Daily Politics and Anne Trenneman said, no, George Osborne, no, he's against tax evasion. Well, I found this. And it says on that HSBC thing, there was something like 950 potential tax evaders just on that one thing. Guess how many prosecutions there's been for tax evasion in this country related to offshore since the Tories have been in the last 5 years. This is from the Private Eye. It says there's been 11 prosecutions. 11. And 5 of those were related to one family. So really there's only been 6. Or 7. 7 prosecutions in 5 years. You would think all those... You'd think there'd be more. But they're prosecuting people for stealing food because they're hungry. Stealing baby milk. Where's their British values? Seriously. You know, David Cameron's British values are steeped in prejudice. They're steeped in fear. You know, David Cameron's British values are steeped in moving public money into private pockets. Banquets for the rich, austerity for the poor, and prejudice for the rest. You know, their debt has doubled. Austerity isn't working, but they don't care. You know, George Osborne's a liar. He openly lies. Says tax credits won't affect the typical family. I don't know where he gets that from. Typical family. What's a typical family? You know, David Cameron last night in Channel 4 News, he was backing Saudi Arabia and purporting to back Al-Qaeda. You know, where's his British values? His British values are steeped in oil and arms. You know, that's more important. The economy, it's more important. You know, his British values are steeped in the city of London, the city of corruption. You know, he doesn't care. The whole thing about British values and the way that they've co-opted it and the way that they framed it to be the political consensus. It's shocking. It's appalling, and people buy into it. But do you know what? No lie lasts forever.